Hello and welcome to
And now we're talking.
Real Estate.
Real estate.
Woo-hoo. And we also talk about a lot of things that aren't real estate. We love a good tangent.
Definitely love those tangents.
Yeah. I'm one of your hosts, Jillian Stickney.
And I'm Michelle Patterson-Knapp.
And we are longtime realtors and friends. So we kind of get into all of it, a little behind the curtain. So if that's something you like listening to, we would love to have you. We're rolling.
Hey.
Hello and welcome to
And now we're talking.
Real Estate.
Real estate.
Woohoo. And sometimes other things. And today's episode, I think, is, I'm going to say real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's our next one? Because I won't go into the backstory, but I know we have like a couple things in the hopper. So
You had asked what was the last message I got.
Oh, okay. So what we're going to do is, So we're going to play a little game. And it was like, what was the last message you got from a realtor?
Yeah. Phone call.
Well, we can do everything. Phone call.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. Okay.
Email, text.
Okay. Well, the last text I got was from a realtor.
Mhm.
And they were asking me about the tenant situation in one of my listings,
Mhm.
how long they were there for. Except the only thing was they sent me a link
Mhm.
that didn't want to open and didn't want to work. And so I had no idea which listing she was talking about.
Right.
And I have actually I have like 3 condos
A couple
right
that
now.
could qualify for that. Yeah.
So it's like, can we specify what we're talking about?
Who sends links? That's weird.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I get when a client's like, hey, what do you think of this listing or something? But another realtor, usually they're like, hey, your property at ...
Or
Yeah.
like tell me a name. Even if you tell me a neighborhood
Yeah.
is much better than
Yeah, like-
some kind of like generic link
Yeah. That might
that
not
doesn't
open.
want to work.
Yeah. Interesting.
Right?
Interesting. Okay. Okay. So that's your last text. That's okay.
Yeah,
Moving on.
and it just happened. But when we were talking before,
Mhm.
because pumpkin.
Yeah, we've turned into a pumpkin. That's why I was like, oh, how much do I go into on this? Because we'll record more than one episode when we're in the studio. And the
Yes.
last time we were recording, we got all the video, no audio.
No
So
audio.
we are recreating a little bit. And so I just am like, how much of that do we say? On each episode that we're recreating. But basically, yeah, I had asked Michelle, I was like, okay, we're going to be like, who was the last realtor that texted you? What was it? Whatever. Yeah.
And it was great because it was totally spontaneous. And
Like it was literally
yeah.
between episodes. She's like, oh, my phone's been blowing up here. Let me check this. Yeah.
Yeah. But the previous to that, it was a realtor that I was working with. And they were just asking me a question. And it was somebody who I'm like co-representing some clients.
Is this the commercial deal?
Yeah. And it was very interesting because usually when you're working with another agent, you don't really get as skinny as to how they work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how they approach things.
Wait, so when you say working with, do you mean like I'm representing a buyer, you're representing a seller, like each, or do you mean like co-listing,
like co-listing, but we're doing the buying part right now, right?
Oh,
so we're
so
co-representing.
So you're sort of just saying, maybe I don't even know if I'm following this. So you're kind of saying because I am actually co-representing a client, whether it's buying or selling, you're getting a little more on the inside track of how someone works?
Yeah, well, because
it makes sense.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I was understanding.
Because we always want to, like, the communication in any deal is very important.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're being co-represented, like when you're represented by 2 agents,
mm-hmm.
right? You don't want to do too much work or come at the client, then we're both asking the client the same thing.
Right,
we need to be very clear.
The left hand's doing.
We need to be very clear with each other as to
what's going on.
How are we communicating with the client?
Yeah.
Right.
And so everything is sort of like, I guess, like, I want to say copacetic, but that's not,
Yeah.
Like everyone's on the same page and we're not like missing something somewhere, but, like, doubling down on something somewhere else, like, yeah,
Right.
just yeah.
Right. Right. And it's been fun because, uh, he's very analytical
Mhm.
and
But he's so this is a commercial
it
deal.
is
So he's more
commercial.
commercial, and I will say
Yes.
commercial versus residential because commercial, it's business, and,
Yeah.
like, I mean, residential, whoa, the emotions can run high,
Yeah.
and it's typically people aren't like this is their largest transaction typically that they do is
Right.
their home and stuff. So it's a real like intense situation. But with commercial, it is
Yeah,
business, you
and
know?
it is like a large transaction
It's
too,
a large
right?
transaction, but it's business and it's just it is a different breed for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
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 And so that has taken some getting used to,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because, like, for me, it's like, okay, if I get an instruction from a client in either through text or through an email, I'm like, "Okay," I go with it, and I don't need to verify again and again. So, like, it's just those little dynamics of it,
Nuances. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that has been a little interesting for
Okay.
me.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see that. I can
yeah,
see that.
but because normally it's like, okay, I get the instructions and I do, and it's not to say that I act without instructions, right?
Yeah.
But it's
But
like
it's just
you always need to make sure
well
that
that
we are very
everyone's on the
clear and
same page.
everybody's on the
Yep.
same page.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
for sure. I'm trying to think of who okay, so for last realtor text?
yeah, from a realtor.
Uh it was feedback from an agent who'd shown a property of mine yesterday.
Okay,
Listing, yeah. So and it
yeah.
was good feedback, but it's just kind of what was it?
Was it a response to the generic feedback? What
No,
showed?
I had solicited her for feedback this morning. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, and, but it's just kinda, like, nice, but they've decided, like, you know what, they might want something a little more updated, but they'll spend more money for that, right?
right.
So, that's nothing too I'm trying to think of who the last realtor when we originally did this because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, that's kinda boring." You know, who did I what oh, maybe it was hmm, I can't remember. I can't remember.
Mm,
I feel like I was working on that acreage deal. Well, it was done
yeah,
because we were unconditional. Because I know I'd sort of taken a call and stuff from my client. So I think it was maybe something along those lines, like maybe more to do with that client.
mhm,
And then the last phone call, well, I had made a call on the way here to our guest, our one and only guest so far, DeWitt,
yeah.
Yellow Tonka Truck.
Tonka truck.
AKA Dave Tomzik. And because I have a property I'm showing for a second time tomorrow, and they'd asked, the seller if they'd ever had a radon test,
Right.
which but it I mean, it's not like, "What, you haven't?" Not the end of the world or anything, but I was just sort of talking to him because it's not I just wanted another agent's opinion. It's not commonplace here in Edmonton to get
Yeah.
radon tests, like different parts of the country, I think it's a little more
Problematic.
yeah, like, or prolific. It
Yeah.
sounds a little nicer.
Eh, meh.
And, no, and I just like I was telling Michelle, I've only had one client, and it's because they were moving from out east, and they'd sort of asked, and like, we didn't even do one or, we didn't look into it further, and it's certainly something that you can do on your own. Like, if you live in a house that has radon, you're not gonna, like, it's not like carbon monoxide, but it's and you can mitigate it, but if you wanna
Yes.
kinda know if there is any level that you need to pay attention to, you can do a test, and but it's better to be done in the winter, and I think the really thorough one can take a bit of time, but again, it's, like, not gonna be anything that's gonna cause any sort of real havoc in a short period of time. So that was the last realtor call. Yeah, I mean, today's pretty generic. That's the thing, I feel like the other day when we picked this up, it was a little more
Yeah.
salacious.
Which is kind of interesting for a faux Monday, right?
Yeah,
Because we're just coming off the long weekend.
yeah. Well, May
Eh,
long weekend. Okay,
yeah.
this is a TSN turning point in your real estate market in the year, I find.
Right.
So spring typically builds, in my opinion, up until May long weekend, but then everyone's like opening up the cabin, going camping, hitting the
Mhm.
road, like having a barbecue, like
Summer vibes, yeah,
yeah,
are
like
in the air for
yeah.
sure.
So I do find, although we also discussed this in a recent episode.
Mhm.
My goal is an OG spring market.
Yeah.
So we should still be trucking along with that, but I do find that this weekend here, it does kind of turn and people start kind of focusing a bit more on some other things, not that real estate's not
Yes.
still going on.
Yeah.
So I guess, I don't know, coming off of May long weekend, maybe you're not going to be that sort of like full tilt with.
Although I like the spring market was, like you're saying, it just a little delayed.
Mhm.
And so I had a pretty busy uh long weekend in terms of real estate, which is kind of different.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Well, that's a
Yeah.
good sign. And I guess I also, in terms of calling, okay, so I chatted with a client this morning. Um just cuz they're going to be coming to town to do some shopping. They have their place pending in another market
Mhm.
in Alberta, and so chatting a bit about that. I sent a client, they're gonna be listing, and they live on a street where there's a lot of same or like product,
Right.
and one had just sold there, so texted them about that, Yeah, that's very, very garden variety real estate, because sometimes it is a little more interesting or there's a little more juice to it, so,
Mhm. Mhm.
I actually wanna look in my notes section. This is so bad. See, this is where I'm a little disappointed because I feel like we're never gonna get back that episode, and it's like, it just is not that it's bad, but it's, like,
Yeah.
not landing the same because I'm like, "Oh, well, this is what I texted about. This is who I called. Oh, boring."
No.
But one that we didn't talk about, spam texts.
Oh my god. Oh, that and it's gotten worse.
Oh my
Not only
goodness.
the spam text, but the spam phone calls.
Okay,
And I know, like, I've asked you about because you have
I've
Jillian.
call control guys,
Yes,
game
yes.
changer. Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
call control thing where please dial 1
Yeah. The
to.
caller you're calling has
Yeah,
call control. Please press 9 to, yeah. And I will tell
exactly.
you, like, I get the odd call, but I'll tell you, they've worked for it. Like, they literally dialed. It's not something, because it's so annoying for me because as a realtor, typically if I don't recognize the number or whatever,
Yeah,
or even if I do, if it's another agent or whatever, it's like I'll answer my phone. Jillian speaking.
right.
So getting like, a spam call, so I'll answer it, Jillian speaking. And then it's like few
Yes.
seconds of silence, and then it's
Yeah,
like
and then
click,
like that.
and then they ask me, but then they butcher my name, and they're like, "Is this the," and it's like,
Oh,
"Buddy, if you were
okay, alright.
actually on the line when I pick,
Again,
like, okay, okay,
again, with the flag on the
okay."
play. How could they butcher Jillian?
Well, you'd be surprised. No, I know, that's actually a really funny thing because in real estate, like, they'll butcher my first name, my last name, which I think both of them, like, compared to some of the realtors' names you see out there, and I'm like, if you're having a hard time with this, like, good luck with some of the names that are on, like, it is funny, but yeah, it's almost always, yeah, they do, because usually,
Okay, I could see maybe Gillian. I
yeah,
could
but it's
see,
not even that, that's the
like,
thing,
have you
like,
gotten Gilligan yet?
oh my god, I know a receptionist back when people used to call into the office more,
Yeah.
she said that sometimes I would get calls for Gilligan. Yeah,
Which
so
is so funny because aside from that show, I've never heard anybody with the name Gilligan.
Gilligan, yeah, yeah, and, that was probably more of a nickname, right?
Oh,
Anyways,
maybe.
yeah, like, I'm sure his parents had called him Ted or something, but
Or maybe like idiot.
well, he was sort of the,
So bad.
yeah, anyways, so, yeah, so getting the call, and I've answered it, Jillian speaking, and then there's kinda, like, couple seconds, and then you can
Yeah.
tell it's, like, picked up, and it's like, and they're, like, stumbling over the name, and I'm like, "Yeah, when I picked up the phone, I said Jillian speaking," like, or what, I don't know, usually I
Right.
give them some sort of sass, but at least that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I would say the number of, like, phone calls that are spam, they've had to work for it. I mean, I'm still
Yeah.
not happy they're calling, but at least they've, like, literally dialed the number, they're on the line. Yeah, so there's that, but the spam texts are kind of funny, and sometimes I'll, like, kind of just respond with something equally idiotic, but usually I don't even bother.
Good grief.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. I remember it was like maybe a year, maybe 2 years ago, where it was awful.
It goes in waves,
Yeah.
I find. Yeah.
Yeah. It was awful. And then now, I'm not with the same carrier as you, so I
Mhm.
don't have that option for the call control.
Love it. Like, if I had to go back to, like, no call control, I don't even
Yeah, you don't
yeah.
know what you do with
No,
yourself?
I'd go back to a
Yeah.
landline.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it would
The
be
payphone.
yeah, exactly, right? Just like 2 cans and a string, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Pretty much. But no, it has gone down a lot. So I don't know if carriers or if the technology has come so they automatically just
Can
gotten rid of
shut it
them. Yeah,
down or
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Or
no,
you get the
so
message, it says like likely spam
oh,
on the
yeah,
top.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I have
well
to deal with that a lot less.
yeah, yeah, I don't even know the last spam text is, but it's usually like it's funny because, I'm pretty sure I remember it because I felt like there was a grammar error, which
Oh, yeah.
okay, so here's the thing, the reason people have trouble with my names, and I'm just gonna say it because I think typically anyone that's working in a call center not anyone, but ESL.
Yes.
So they look at the name and they're very confused, and
Yeah.
then but same thing with the spam texts, it's like there's grammatical errors, and it's, like, just kind
Yeah.
of like
Kind of
yeah.
dead giveaway.
Yeah, I'm like, "You're not even" yeah, you're already, like yeah, out before you're in, like, it's so, so stuff like that, but yeah, I think everyone, not just realtors, struggle with although our numbers are out there, like, so
The thing is that it's hard for realtors because we deal
yeah,
with
you have to answer
calls
your
from the
phone.
public all the
Well, they're
time.
numbers you don't recognize,
Yeah,
and it could
numbers you
be,
don't
like, your
recognize.
next big deal,
And you
right?
never know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, so you have
Right?
to, like, answer
You
and be
have to
profesh
answer.
and yeah, yeah, and then find out that they wanna clean your air ducts, it's like, "Oh my god." Yeah.
Yeah. My husband has fun with those calls. He sends them to addresses that don't exist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like the fence, it's like the property line address.
Oh, Kevin, adorable. There was this show back in the day, and it's Canadian, CanCon, but it was, like, probably 30 years ago back, like, I think the dude literally had like, a camcorder, and you would get telemarketers calling online.
Right?
I think his name was, like, J.R. Diggs, he was from out east, and so, he'd be on at, like, 2 in the morning, like,
It
maybe
sounds
yes,
familiar.
and so one of his bits was whenever he would get a phone call, he would just start recording in case it was a telemarketer,
Right.
and it was his objective to get the telemarketer to hang up on him, and some of the stuff was just so funny because he would be trying to keep them on, they'd be trying to
Right.
sell him something, he'd, like, go on these tangents that were just all sorts of things, so,
Yeah.
yeah, so,
Yeah.
I mean, you can cat and mouse with them, I guess, if you want or have some fun, but
Mhm.
I'm just usually over it.
Or the ones I love where it's like, "Oh, we just noticed that you have some virus that was downloaded on your Microsoft on your PC computer."
Sorry, this isn't a call?
This is a call.
How
Yeah.
how would they even
I don't know. And it's like, "Oh, really? Because I don't have a PC in this house." So,
Right.
right? It's just but they must work because
Mhm.
they are
'Cause they're
doing
doing it,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's oh, for sure, and there's people, yeah. There's people that unfortunately yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So well, and I think, like, it's a evolution, and I think, yeah, they come up with new things to sort of throw at the marketplace, their marketplace, and
Right.
like, because I know banking is a big one. It's like they'll
Oh,
act
yeah.
like they're your bank. I was having a conversation with someone sort of recently, and he was a little embarrassed because he kind of half fell for it. Like he's, like
Oh,
so.
oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
but at least he was a bit in on his own joke. He was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe." Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's
Oh,
like,
that's
yeah,
scary.
yeah. Anyways, no, it was all fine. But it's just yeah, like they do obviously have some success, and I think older people,
Mm,
unfortunately,
quite susceptible.
yeah. So yeah. Anyways, ruining it for everyone else. But
Yeah.
yeah. So
So how about okay, did we talk about phone calls from the last agent?
I'm just trying to think of who the last agent to call me was. Like, I had called Dave to ask him about the radon.
Yeah.
Last agent call? I don't why am I looking at my texts? I don't know, what is
Because
it
I
do you
guess the thing is you're more apt to be texting an
yeah, that's
agent
so oh my goodness, yeah,
than
like,
you
I've
will, like,
already, like,
call.
probably texted numerous agents today and clients as well.
Yeah.
But I have had one but yeah, way more texting goes on, so there's that. Uh, yeah. I will say though, I do think, and this is just amusing with real estate, and it's interesting because some of the, I don't know, newer, younger, maybe both, generation of realtors,
Mm,
sometimes a call goes so far,
so far.
they don't like, it's so interesting, and that's a little bit the art of the business. Like, there's a lot of things you can, like, text about or whatever, but there's nuance and things that get, like, lost in the, like, you know,
Yeah, lost in not just translation, but just with the
because they're
lack of
not even,
tone
yeah,
and
with the
lack
lack
of
of translation,
yeah,
they're lost
yeah,
because it's like, okay, well, maybe, and it's so interesting because, like, I feel like there's been so many examples in this business where, yeah, because I've had a chat with the agent on the other end, like just a certain soundbite that they've said has either maybe given me an extra angle. Oh, like
yeah,
I know this is why they're selling, or, and it kind of just came up organically in conversation or whatever. But it's like, okay, this is going to give us an extra angle. Or I just, yeah. And there's a lot of agents that don't have the calls. And I think there's
mhm,
so many nuggets that can be extracted and
yeah.
can help you in your situation, but there's a lot of agents that just,
Don't realize it and who don't
yeah,
necessarily pick up on it.
yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And yeah, like sometimes a phone call, and it does, so it doesn't have to be about anything, oh, well, I have a problem now, I'm calling you, but just like, hey, and you get a little extra information, and
Yeah,
then sometimes
it
they,
helps.
yeah, oh yeah, totally, totally.
I've
um
never found it to not be helpful, right?
yeah, I was just wondering that. I was like, I'm sure there's the odd time where, I don't know what it would be. Like, there's probably exceptions to everything. But yeah, in general, I would say definitely it helps. And just a chat about whatever. I just think it can go a long way. You can glean some extra information, and it can be what it takes to kind of get a deal across the line or
Mhm.
whatever. And just kind of building that camaraderie. Like, everyone's looking
Like,
for the same
yeah,
objective.
working together in
Yeah,
order
like,
to
yeah.
ultimately, if you're representing the buyer,
Yeah,
have
so
them
if there's a deal
purchase.
that we can, like, yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes they just don't work out, but yeah, like, I do think that definitely there's some deals that get lost or go sideways for that don't need to, you
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
which is kind of unfortunate, or just maybe, yeah, you don't get as optimum of an outcome for your client. And yeah, so although I always feel bad, like it's almost like I like to text people. It's like, hey, you free for a chat? Because I call it ambushing. If I just like cold
Right.
cold call someone,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's almost considered rude nowadays. You know what I mean? To
Yes.
just call someone out of the blue. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But whatever, just, I guess, don't answer if you're not available. But I do
Yeah.
like to, usually I'll like to, depending on what's going on, like so I chatted with one of my clients this morning, and she was kinda, she loves, like, she's one of those, like, some people will do one longer text, but she's like, 2 lines, 2 lines, 2 lines, and, like, 6 different texts will come in, and I was like, "Do you," and of course, clients are always asking loaded questions, and they don't realize they're loaded questions, and it's like,
Mhm.
"Okay, well, this is a discussion, this isn't a,"
Yes.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that's another, and so I was like, "Do you have time for a quick chat?" And she's like,
Yeah,
"Yep."
you
So,
gotta, like, prime that pump because I you know and sometimes too, like, when you're doing the back and forth and you're just like, "You know what? If I just called this person, we could have this wrapped up in, like, 2 minutes
well, it's
rather
like,
than the back and forth and the
so, and to me,
misunderstandings," and
yeah, like, I just feel like it's like there can be a lot of nuance,
yeah.
and, like, so to just give you, yeah, it's like, I need to chat with you, and it needs to have that back and forth where then I ask you this, so then I know this, so then I can like, yeah, no, a conversation at the right time about the right things can go a very long way, and, I'm here for it, but, I think some people, not so much nowadays.
No.
Yeah, so their loss.
Eh,
Yeah.
yeah.
What the heck? I just was thinking of something else too. About communication maybe in realtors, but I lost it. Because I feel like we can filibuster here, but I feel like this is a short episode so far. But that's why I'm like, oh, I did have something. And this is why it's upsetting that that last one was lost.
Was lost.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's why, like, and Michelle and I, we like to sort of do the podcast like, we don't have
We
things
don't plan
scripted.
them.
Like,
Yeah.
I have like little point form notes in my phone, So, like,
Right.
half an hour can go off of, like, 2 words on my phone.
Right.
And, we don't necessarily share it with each other ahead of time because, like, we each have kind of, I think, our own running list, and then it's like then it's really organic and off the cuff, and that's, like, I really like that. But it's like so that's why I'm, like, a little bummed because I think we had a solid episode, but I think our texts and
Yeah.
calls and stuff had been more interesting,
Well,
which is yeah,
I have something because I did have a nice little text exchange. Uh, and I think too, your texts are different when you know the other realtor on the other end,
totally.
right?
Yeah.
So I have maybe it's a bit of a confession time.
Mhm. Okay, I like it. Let's get to it.
But because we had talked about this before and it actually came up, that dreaded 17.2 in the purchase contract.
Wait, oh, that's the timestamp?
Yeah.
I'm like 17 too. That's getting far down because
Yeah.
that's like got to be
That's
one of
far.
the last.
Yeah.
18 is lawyers
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
dower release.
Whatever.
19 lawyers. Yeah.
I think dower's higher up,
Yeah.
but or maybe the non-spousal,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah. Dower's higher up, non spousal. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, 17.2 came and bit me in the butt. So it's the timestamp one.
Right. So for our audience, basically, when you write an offer to purchase, right before kind of the final full signature from your client or your buyer, it says this offer slash counter offer is open for acceptance until, and then you
Yeah,
can put in a time so that it's not just like hanging out there indefinitely. Like at some
right.
point, everything on the contract would become
Like a
moot.
hanging chad, right? Like, oh, this offer,
Yeah. Well, I don't know what a hanging chat is.
Oh no,
No.
a hanging chad that goes back to like that election with Gore and Bush
Oh,
in Florida, where they had to put the puncture to vote, and they had because it didn't like actually get rid of the whole Chad, it would just hang there, and so it was unclear if it was the intent. Yeah, it was
oh,
a whole thing.
interesting.
Look up,
Interesting.
just Google hanging Chad,
I
and
was like,
you'll
whoa,
get
are we
yeah.
like turning dark here? Hanging Chad? Like, what did Chad ever
No,
do?
you're getting a little inkling as to what I've been listening to recently. So
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty
it's going
specific.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah,
and I was gonna say, but just to the timestamp, but it's like so typically you're gonna have conditions that are, a week or two and just things that automatically make
are
it
gonna get
null and
timed
void.
out. Yeah,
Yeah, but if you're writing an unconditional offer, boy, you better be putting something on there because they could sign that whenever and it's like, oh,
yeah.
you just bought a
You just
property.
yeah,
Yeah, wait,
exactly.
your deposit, where is it?
Yeah. So sometimes so there's a lot of realtors who don't use it. I think for the most part, people don't use 17.2.
50-50, I think.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, maybe. Okay,
I don't know.
you know
I don't
what? Okay,
know.
I use it, so I could be a little more biased to the side of using it. So maybe it is a little more 2/3, 1/3.
Well, I know that in our office, like if it's not filled out, we'll get a little note, hey, we want to see 17.2
They're still going to process the
completed.
paperwork for you, but they're going to
Yeah, yeah,
remind you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And
My office doesn't do that.
well, and the thing is, the reason why I like kind of bring it up is because it does have to do with communicating
Mhm,
back and forth. So 17.2 says it has to be either accepted or counter offer received by a certain time,
mhm.
right? And sometimes these counter offers are going back and forth through text and
Well,
not
like
necessarily,
it's not signed back on paper. It's
yeah,
either like phone call, text, email, whatever. But it's the negotiations are being communicated, but they're not actually signing off on them every time. Yeah.
on the paper. And usually when we were talking about how when offers were done in the past and how you would like for every counter offer you would scratch out the offer or
Well,
scratch out the price or whatever the person
yeah,
didn't agree with,
yeah.
right? And make your changes.
And then if it was past the time and both parties were agreeing, you just scratch that out. Is that what you're referring to?
So we had done our deal and it was um pending, and at this rate it was sold already. And we had made an amendment to this timestamp because by the time the final signature got onto the contract, it
Mhm.
was past the time
Yes. Oh my
that was the
goodness, I got into
timestamp
such a quagmire with that too recently.
by like maybe by like an hour,
Yeah,
right? It wasn't like it was maybe like 2 hours, right?
yeah.
So,
Still that same business day, you're
yeah,
just like,
yeah. But we were like, okay, we'd figured, let's just do an amendment saying that
Both parties, yeah.
17.2 is deleted from the contract. Both parties are fine with all the terms
Yeah,
and
everything
everything
else
like that,
remains the same, yeah.
right? Cool. Both people sign it. We send it off to the conveyancer because the deal is done. I get a nice phone call from
Gary!
Yeah, I get a phone call from my broker, Gary, and he's like, "Michelle." And every time I get a phone call from Gary, if it's not my birthday,
Our
I'm like,
birthday.
or for right, if it's not our birthday.
Rude. Birthday twin over here. Gosh. And
Uh,
it's cute because he was my OG broker, so he technically does, by
yeah,
default, end up wishing me a happy birthday too. And then we do our birthday lunch, and I hear about my birthday wishes from my OG broker.
yep,
Anyways,
yep, yep.
back to the story at hand.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So he's
so if
like,
he's calling you and it's not our birthday, uh-oh.
it's like, uh-oh, what I do.
Yeah, what'd I do wrong?
Although sometimes he calls for a check, but because we still go in and get our checks.
Oh my god, you guys don't do EFTs?
You could talk to Gary about that.
Okay.
You could talk to Gary about that.
Okay, in trouble in paradise. I mean, I have not. I'm just thinking, I have had EFTs for a long. Like that's
Yeah,
how when we're paid out on a commission. Yeah, mine just gets deposited. I get a little email. It's like, and it's kind of a whatever. It
yeah,
shows the amount, the paperwork on it, and I was like, oh, sweet, that's gonna be in my account today. You're still
yeah.
picking up a check
Well, and we get the
like it's
phone
the
call.
80s. Oh my god, that's adorable. I like that. And my broker could be like, "Hey, check your email. There's an EFT."
I mean, I think I would much prefer, especially in the dead of winter, to get that kind of a phone call.
Oh,
But
then yeah.
like, hi, Michelle, check your bank.
Yeah. Yeah, look, there's more money. Yay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyways, I've digressed. So I get this phone call. It's like, Michelle, like, I can't accept this. I'm like, but the amendment,
But Simdog.
and I'm always arguing with him. I'm
Yeah.
sure he must love me. But I like, and can't the text count? I mean, it's on there. It's on the offer that we're allowed to communicate through
Mhm.
text with the other
You can communicate,
realtor.
but it's what signed.
Well, yeah, and then of course he let me know. It's like, well, it has to be written. Needs to be written. But I'm like, but you have the amendment and all this, and so
So how did he propose you solve this situation?
so he basically said to me, Michelle, you guys are trying to revive an offer that's dead, and you
Mhm.
can't do that. I'm like, but
Yeah,
come
she's
on, I
like
used to be a nurse.
she's got the defibrillators out. Clear.
Right? Right? Like we can all just manifest it, right?
Yeah. Oh, people come back
The
from the dead
intention
all
is
the
still
time.
there.
Like not years later, but minutes later.
Yeah,
It's only
yeah,
2
it's not.
hours. This
It's
is
not. There's
plausible.
miracles. It's a real estate miracle.
Yeah, yeah. And I believe
Anyways,
in real estate miracles, and
me
I'm not
too.
being sarcastic.
No,
No.
no, they happen.
Yeah, all the time.
So he's like, no, no. And then he's like, especially because you signed the amendment after
After.
the deal has already
That's the
died.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
There needs to be like a form where it's like, yeah, we know it's dead, but we're agreeing that it comes back. Like that's the problem because this does happen, not even with the timestamp, but just kind of like, oh, we didn't get the waiver to you in time. Like it's 5 minutes after 9 now or something. It was supposed to be 9
right.
o'clock, but like we don't want to have to like refund a deposit, make a new deposit, go like there's so many logistical errors.
Yeah,
Like even the financing, it's like, oh well, technically this is a new deal. Like whatever, like
yeah,
it is so there's a lot of things that can get messed up when that
yeah,
happens.
yeah.
So I just want to know how this
How we
was
solved it?
rectified. Yeah.
So basically, we had to write an unconditional offer. Yeah. So I had to rewrite an unconditional offer for this property that we've already purchased.
Which is
Right.
kind of
Which is,
scary in the sense that what if it was a really like hot property and now you know what like
yeah,
this is the thing, it's just like I always say I love to like try and cross as many t's and dot as many i's as I can in this business because
yeah,
there's always not I shouldn't say always, I want to put this out there, but there can be curveball, like there's just things that come up, so it's like I try and foresee any potential thing, deal with it, make it make it not a thing,
Yeah.
make it so we don't have to deal with it, whatever, because yeah.
I mean, for the thing is, it's like, okay, chances are highly unlikely that there is going to be another offer. But I know we've already talked about those real estate miracles.
Yeah.
But, it's been pending for a while. The
Mhm.
place hasn't been getting much activity, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, you felt like you could yeah, like, usually
And
9 times out of 10, it, like, all works out,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. So we go through the paces, I rewrite the offer, and then in touching on the whole finances and deposits, we had to put a term in the contract saying deposits from
this
X
contract number
deal,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Well, and
X
that's
agreement
because
are now going to be transferred to this
our
agreement and the
deposits are held in trust, and
interest
there's a lot of extra, like, sort of regulation and
concerning trust accounts.
yeah,
Yes.
like, it's
Yeah.
just it is a real headache,
Yeah.
so
Well, and the headache's there to protect everybody,
yeah, oh,
protect
yeah.
money,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So understandably so. But yeah, we had to write that whole contract. So I make sure I got that all written out and signed by my people and
Mhm.
just explain to them, it's like, okay, the amendment isn't going to fly.
Listen,
Yeah.
talk to Gary, guys. He's being real difficult on this
well,
one.
well, what was kind of even more hilarious about this whole circumstance was that I was dealing with an agent
Out of
who
your office?
who used to be in our office, who used to be in our office, so who was very familiar with Gary
Yeah.
and his thing, and I'm just like, I text him, and I'm like, "Oh, Gary's being Gary,"
I know.
and we had a nice little chuckle about that.
Yeah,
But
that does help, and that's the thing with relationship, and again, that's
yeah,
where phone calls sometimes it's like,
yeah,
you're not even maybe figuring out a semantic of the deal, but it's that relationship, and it can be with the other
yeah,
agent too, like, yeah.
yeah. So we had a good chuckle, and I'll say because this is one of the things I told Gary. And I told the other agent, I'm like, I am not dealing with 17.2 anymore. I don't care.
Ooh, don't be writing unconditional offers that way.
Well, I'm not going, look, no, and that's totally different. But
I like
if we are,
17.2.
because you don't really need 17.2, like I see how when it's a hot market, right? And you don't want them sitting on your offer and using it as leverage, which is one of the reasons why having a timestamp could be important.
Yeah, so I use the timestamp, like, yes, there's housekeeping, but I also will use it to sort of so here's the thing. Yeah, use it as a bit of like mm, a tool
Yeah,
to push them to
come
try and
back.
respond, to try and get it done sooner. I mean, at the end of the day, let's say I write an offer this afternoon and I put it's open for acceptance till tomorrow at noon. If we want to come together at 3 o'clock, we can. And that's why I use it in a
Yeah.
hot. Yeah, no, you know what? I know you're okay. So I love this because
Okay.
people have different opinions on things. I am a firm stander buyer of the timestamp.
Of putting the timestamp
Yeah,
on?
yeah.
So I said,
It's
I'm
just
not,
good business.
but oh, I'm sorry, but it was more hassle than what it was worth, right?
Mm,
Having the 17.2 in there
yeah, on
because I
that one,
still
but
allowed, it's not like I said, hey, get back to me in under an hour,
yeah,
right? We
yeah,
still had like maybe 2 days,
yeah.
right?
But it took
But
2
still,
days and 2 hours. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. Because sometimes it's like you're getting it to your client, and depending on their availability and their access to whatever they
Oh,
need
well,
to
and
use
just
to
the
sign,
negotiation. Yeah, like,
right?
it's just kind of it does happen, unfortunately, where, yeah, just
And mind you,
timing
we had
is
gone through the whole deal, right, where we were working with a dead contract. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah,
still
yeah.
don't want that to be the reason why why the property gets sold again,
Mhm.
essentially, right? Because the intent of both parties was still there.
Yeah, and that's the thing, if everyone's still on board, and typically they would be, but again, if it's a hot market and all of a sudden they've had, like, a dozen inquiries and, like,
Yeah.
they're people hot and heavy, then maybe a seller or a seller's agent might get the genius idea to, like,
But you
try
use
and drum
it
some
like
stuff up.
if you have a strong offer, right?
Mhm.
And you want to put that in there, or maybe and then that's the other thing too. I'm like, I'm not going to do 17.2, but if they're insistent on putting a date on there, I'm going to use some crazy date
Something long.
like
Yeah.
February 2nd, 2037,
Oh.
Groundhog's Day.
Oh, is that Groundhog Day?
February 2nd?
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I like it.
Go round and round and round. We'll just repeat that day over again.
Oh my god, that is funny. Thought maybe you're gonna do, like, February 29th or
Well,
something.
I was
Yeah.
thinking about that was my other one
It's
too.
your alternate? Okay, I like it, I like it.
But then it required me to go back and change and see is this actually gonna be a leap year.
Yeah, too much work there.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say we'll do, if I may, a story just about the timestamp, and maybe you heard a bit about this when it happened because it was just earlier this year, but I don't think I shared on the podcast because I had a property, let's say it was pending till Friday, 9, it was actually a Thursday for some reason. Anyways,
Yeah.
it's because they wanted in the next week. Oh my God. It was just such a whatever. There's always
Yeah.
interesting stuff going on, guys. So they had the inspection on a Wednesday night and the deposit was due on Wednesday. And it's like 5 o'clock. I think that's when their inspection is. And the agent's like, oh, my client didn't make it to the bank today. Um, can we amend? But the deposit was supposed to be due on the Wednesday before
Right.
9 p.m. Before 9 p.m. And but it was still pending till the next day. So my sellers, myself, the other party were like, yeah, okay, let's fine. Like it's still pending. Like they can bring it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But because by the time my sellers were out of the country, like even by the time I got the amendment from the buyer's agent for that, because of course they wanted to go through the inspection and then extort us on a couple things. So let's put it all in the same amendment, guys.
Why not?
Right. And so by the time I got our extortion amendment with the deposit being and amending the deposit to be a day later,
Yeah.
it was after 9. And certainly by the time my clients had signed, it was like after 11. And so this agent actually used to be out of my office and they were like, oh, and there's that late deposit form. Do you have a late deposit form?
There's no late deposit form.
Because what happens is if by contract law, if your deposit is not received by the time it is said, the seller does have the right
Yes.
to rescind the deal.
But they have to notify the other party in writing of such. Anytime they receive the deposit and it gets cashed, then that does not apply, even if it's late. Late. Yeah, that's in there. As soon as the money has been sent and
Right.
deposited for that offer, that little stipulation about it being late and it
That gets
not
rescinded?
counting. Yeah.
Well, but we didn't have the deposit, so sort of moot point there, right?
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, but what happens is so she's like, we decided we should do, it's called like a late deposit acknowledgement or something. So we're
Sure.
like, hey, because we're signing this after it was already due. That was kind of the glitch in the system because
Right.
it was due by 9, but we're doing an amendment after 9 p.m. saying, hey, like we can't retroactively go back.
Right.
It's the same
Right.
scenario, right?
Yeah.
So we're trying to get in our DeLorean and go back in time, right? Where
But I think that might still be a little bit different because of that one case, because the seller needs to still provide notice to the buyer
Mhm.
that the deal is dead. It doesn't just because the deposit is late doesn't
Yeah.
automatically
Oh, it
kill the
doesn't kill the deal. The
right?
seller has to,
But
yeah.
yeah. The
So
seller
anyways.
still needs to notify.
Yeah.
So I
But we
think
just
doing the
kinda,
amendment, right, for scratching out or changing the time
yeah.
for the deposit acceptance.
Anyways, what I will say is, so point is we're like, Kate, we're going to amend the deposit date to next day, but we're also going to fill in this form saying both parties acknowledge that the deposit is late and that it can be late. Tomorrow, the next day comes and goes. They
No
happily,
deposit.
yeah, and they happily remove their conditions. No deposit. They want it in 1 week. Anyways, these people, MIA. MIA. I had to sell it again. So we can laugh about it now, but at the time it was super annoying, but it was one of those little like
Yeah.
nuancy layers where it's like you can't retroactively sign something and then it kind of
Yeah.
painted us into a corner. Thank God it was actually a really quick close because if that was just sort of floating out there for a month or
Right.
two, yeah, no, it was
Right.
I mean, and that's the thing. That's why these real estate deals, they're all sometimes they can be kind of wacky if you
Mhm.
like I say, if I literally looked at my last 10 files, I could be like, "Oh, this is the funny story here. This is what happened here.
Yeah.
Like this one had really cute pets." Like it's like there's just like, there's stuff but yeah, so yeah, I mean that was a bit off tangent from where we started, but I think it was I don't know, just some interesting behind the scenes real estate
Yeah.
shenanigans.
Yep.
Yeah, and just some of the things that go on. But anyways, as always, we appreciate you
Listening in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we look forward to telling you more things about our world and real estate in the future here.
Yeah.
Until next time, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Yes, you can follow us on Apple Music, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts.
And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.
Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye.